Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna.
Today
So,
we were talking about,
gosh, we both just so excited to talk that we talked at the same time. Go ahead, you first.
I was just going to say today's topic is gooding and badding.
I love it.
What comes to your mind when you think about that?
Well, I just like the thought of putting the ing at the end of those words. I don't, that's the
Mm,
truth. I love the thought of saying, "Oh, are we gooding and batting ourselves?" Because I know I'm for certain am guilty of saying, "Oh, I did so good today," or "I did so bad today."
yes, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah, we make it an action
What
rather
did you
than,
think?
I think I said a lot of these things that we're going to talk about, and
Mm.
I've punished myself in some ways, and I've also applauded myself some days because of just food or whichever way, if I ate something or didn't eat something. And it's so complicated, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I also realize that I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's a little
Yeah.
classist. Like we
Oh,
label food like why are we call anyway, we'll get into that too. I
oh,
forgot to tell
that's
you
really
before we
interesting.
started recording. I know. Anyway.
All right. Well, we're
All
going to
right.
get
All
into it.
right, but let's hear about our call to actions from they were 2 weeks ago now.
Yes.
So we had 14 days to do our call to actions. And I didn't do it.
If I had to grade myself, I would give myself a D.
I would give myself a D minus. I did mine one day.
I did mine, but it looked different. So mine was to meditate for 5 minutes in the morning before I left my bedroom to start my day.
Okay.
Um, the problem with this is I know myself and I picked something that's going to be really difficult for me.
Mhm.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very slow in the morning. Sometimes I'm running out the door and I forget. I don't know why I picked the morning. So what I did is I did it twice, but I what I did instead was if I was in the car, I put on like some soothing music and just vegged out while I was driving. I was still paying attention, but
Yeah.
like just meditating and uh sometimes just like doing nothing, sitting and just for a few minutes.
How did you feel after you did it?
Oh, I felt great every time I did it. I felt refreshed. I felt good. I felt
But that's
like
not enough to make us
rested.
do it every day.
Well, I could do it every day, but the problem was I made that assignment of doing it in the morning. So
Okay.
then I
So
felt
you
like,
said,
oh, I failed my call to action.
so you just were like, oh, I can't do it in the morning. And that was my call to action. So I might as well not do it at all.
Yes,
Mm.
that's the problem.
So
That's where I have a problem.
you weren't like in the, I'm not, by the way, there's no judgment with this at all.
Yeah.
You weren't like, okay, that's not going to work. Scratch that. I'm going to change my call to action mid time and say, as long as I'm meditating, I'll still do it.
So then what I did was because I went through that whole process,
Yeah.
I sort of changed my call to action. So we were talking about behaviors that we do alone and like why we do them alone. So you're gonna laugh at me. Um, I told you I lick the bowl when I'm done with something that I
Yes.
really enjoyed.
It's
Um, I
required.
started I started doing it in front of my husband.
No, you didn't.
I did. I totally did. I'm
Do
like, let
your
me see how this
do your
goes.
kids know you did this?
No, they weren't home,
No,
but
did
he
you
did.
tell them?
No, I
Oh
didn't
my
tell
gosh.
anybody.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if he'd be like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
What did he
He's
do?
not. He's not phased at all. Not even a flinch.
Did he see you do it though?
I was in the same room as him. I wasn't like, "Oh, look at me! I'm licking
Right,
my
but like,
bowl."
but did he looked over? You
No,
think?
no.
So this could be read two ways. Either A, he's so distracted with his phone or the TV or reading something that he's not even paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Or B, he looked over and was like, oh, she must have been doing that our whole marriage.
I don't think at this point we've been married almost 30 years. I don't think
I
he's
know.
phased by anything that I do. And I had created this whole scenario like I need to be proper and I need to not do that. But I was eating some like mango and the mango juices were on the bottom of the bowl and I really wanted to get it out.
I love that you did that. I love it so much. I mean, I do it all the time, so that wouldn't be a shocker to anybody in my family, but I I love that you did it. Now, here's the question. Would you do it in front of like me or friends?
That'll take a little work, but I'm not saying no.
Okay. I mean,
I think
I know
it'll
we're not gonna
happen.
do it in a restaurant. I know none of us are gonna do that.
No, no.
But would you do it, like, in front of friends?
I think I think I would,
Would you do it in
because
front of your mom?
in front of my mom for sure.
Okay, okay.
She's Moms see everything, right? They
I know,
know.
but sometimes you don't wanna, you know.
No,
Mm,
moms know everything.
your husband didn't even flinch.
Not even flinch. So I made it such a big deal and it was nothing.
Maybe he does it too.
I'm sure if the thing is, I think if I do it and other people see me, it might give them permission to be more free.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, but if I'm encouraging that, great. I'm all
Right.
in.
I love that. That you just was not that was I was not expecting that. That I love it.
Well, I'm like, I'm failing at this meditation. I need to switch it up because
But you didn't I
it's
don't think
not,
you failed at it. You just haven't figured out how to make it work for you yet.
yeah.
And
I
that's
still want to do
different.
it because I felt great. I really enjoyed it.
I know, but that's what bothers me the most. Every single person I talk to always says they feel good after they exercise, but it's
Mhm.
not enough of a good feeling to do it over and over and over.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So why do what? But like, because people have said that
It's
to me.
hard. The thing is, I hadn't really continuously exercised for a while, so I was back on it last week, and last week was hard. My body is hurting. Today, after what, 10 days of working out, I finally hit that point of like, oh, I feel so good today. But you
Uh,
have to push past that pain and
yeah,
that
maybe,
discomfort, and that's hard.
yeah. But like, I went for a walk, and I can honestly say I felt good afterwards, but not good enough to make it like a. Maybe that's a whole episode. Like, how good does something have to be before it'll become like that habit?
Hmm.
Maybe that's what it is, because my
Yeah.
call to action was to just lift my weights 3
Oh,
times.
yeah. How
3
did that go?
times, and I did it once.
You did it once.
I
Okay.
did it 1 time.
What did that look like when you did it that one time?
I said to myself, I'm gonna put The Bachelor on, and I'm not allowed to watch The Bachelor unless I do my weights. And was great. I did it, no problem, but The Bachelor only comes on once a week. So then I was like, well, how am I going to do it again? I already made that arrangement with my head. My crazy lady self was like, well, it's only on once. So now what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. And I don't watch that many TV shows to make that a thing.
Why do you think I know we talked a little bit about it, but do you not just want to do it? Is it something that's not appealing to you, like your
No,
vegetables?
no, I do want to do it. I truly do. I really want my arms. I want strength. I don't even, I mean, I do want my arms to look like Michelle Obama's, but I really just want like strength. I want to
Yeah.
feel strong. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if I feel like 3 pounds is babyish. I know I've said that before. It's just like I'm being a big baby, 3 pounds, like why bother? Maybe that's more of it, and I need to like get over that.
Today I did a body weight workout and I thought, oh, what, it's not going to do anything because there's no weights. I am sore.
Yeah,
So maybe you just ditch the
maybe I
weights.
should try a body weight. Do you have to do push-ups?
I mean, today I did, but you don't
I
necessarily.
literally Google or YouTube no push-up arm
I
exercises.
I
And
hate push-ups too. I hate push-ups.
they make me feel so weak. Out of anything exercise in the world, they make me feel so weak.
Yeah.
And they hurt my
Yeah.
knees.
Do you do them on your knees?
Yeah, because I can't do them on my toes.
Yeah.
Listen to me
Oh, they
making
hurt.
500 excuses on why I can't do your body weight exercise.
Hmm.
I am. I'm
We're
selling
gonna figure this
myself.
out.
I'm selling myself to not do it. Why? I mean, I'm catching it.
Well,
Maybe that's part of it.
we're gonna figure this out.
You know what else I think it is? I also didn't I wasn't specific enough. I said 3 times.
That's not specific.
No, I think I personally need to be like, okay, you're going to do it right after you brain dump on Wednesday and Saturday, or something along.
Oh,
I think I need to be very specific in there. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that. Yes.
I'll
I
have to
had that
rethink
a
it.
couple of weeks ago, I think.
I have to rethink it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Makes sense.
we'll see. We shall see. All right, let's jump into this week. How about that?
Let's get into this.
All right, where are we starting?
Well, let's start with, what do you think when you think about good foods or bad foods, or you're good or you're bad? What does that mean to you?
So for me, I think good foods are non-processed. That's the easiest way I
Okay.
can put it. Like a good food is vegetables, is chicken breast. It's not fried. It's like non-processed foods. I don't
Okay.
even consider butter a quote unquote bad food. I consider that more of a good food because it's not processed. So anything, that's my definition of it.
What about
And
a
of
bad
course,
food?
bad is high sugar,
Hmm.
fried, fast food, but not, oh, that's not true because not all fast food I consider bad, quote unquote bad. So really
Hmm.
just fried and or high sugar.
Okay.
What about you?
Um, I am
Because you have
confused.
what do you mean? That
No, what were you going to say?
I was not expecting that. I was going to say, I bet you have a very clear definition of good and bad.
No, not
Okay,
at all.
what?
And I'll tell you why. Because
Please.
even a simple cursory Google of good foods or bad foods or whatever I Googled, there was 10 things that were contradictory.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I mean. I have some examples. Home cooking is good. Home cooking is bad. These were just the headlines, okay? Raw food is good. Raw food is bad. Cooked food is good. Cooked
Mhm.
food is bad. So like it's
What,
all over the
right,
place.
right. How about ask a doctor and one doctor will tell you don't have eggs and another doctor will say, yes, you need eggs. Like don't
Hmm.
have milk. Yes, you need milk. Milk is bad.
Yes,
Milk is good. Like blah, blah, blah. Often you're right. It's confusing.
I'm totally confused. You can eat at night, don't eat at night, eat in the morning, don't eat in the morning, eat your heaviest meal
Yeah.
during the meal. I'm like, oh my God, so much information that doesn't make any sense together.
And they put the words good and bad in there. I've heard, how
Yes,
many times have you heard someone say, isn't it bad to eat at night?
yes,
Isn't
yes.
it good to fast and not have your first cup of coffee until X time in the morning? Like we hear those words.
We hear those words and we see those words because foods are marketed as reduced guilt or guilt free. And
Yeah.
you're like, wait, what?
Well,
You
you know what
don't even think about it. It's just
well,
subliminal messaging.
one thing I read, which I thought was interesting, is diet culture, which is really what good and bad is. Gooding and
Hmm.
badding stuff is part of the diet culture that has been part of my life my entire life. Like we've all had diet culture thrown in our face, but it really has taught us to go against intuitive eating.
Yes,
Like
that
sitting
is
on
the
the
key.
couch and saying, I'm hungry is not bad,
No,
right? Like that's not bad.
yes,
However, you read headlines that say eating after 7 p.m. is bad. Like that's what the
mhm.
problem with the good and bad is, right? What do you think?
Especially now, we are information overload and
Yeah.
we don't know which way to turn. So what we
Well,
end up doing is doing nothing because we're just like bombarded with information.
and by the way, doctors are very guilty of this.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
really are. I mean, they're very guilty of giving you a list of this is good food and this is bad food. They're very, very, very guilty of it.
Yes. Or some of them don't even answer the question
Yeah, that's true too.
because they don't necessarily have the nutrition experience or, study. So maybe they don't even know.
Yeah, true. And by the way, since we're talking about this, I also don't like the words unhealthy versus healthy.
Yeah. Why?
I feel like that's a big stigma too. And that's like a big problem too. Like don't tell me I'm unhealthy when I'm eating a a, a burger and french fries once a week when you're
Hmm.
eating 2 boxes of whatever candy every single day. Like I think that healthy and unhealthy is a big bad word as well when it comes to food.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see
I-
somebody that's thin as a rail and they eat quote unquote unhealthy. Doesn't
Yep.
mean they're healthy.
Yes, I agree with that. And I've been thinking a lot about this because of just my experience with clients or talking to people, is that people get so stuck in this, I don't know what's good and I don't know what's bad, that they
Mhm.
end up kind of not eating. So then they're hungry. So then they end up eating
And they
like
binge
the
eat.
bad stuff, So they overdo it on things because their body's like, you got to give me something. Because they're in so much paralysis of, I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. What's good, what's bad.
And then they feel bad about themselves for doing that.
Yes.
And
Oh
then they
gosh.
do,
And that,
I ate so bad yesterday.
that yes. And that shame leads to
Yeah.
more negative behaviors.
Well, I have to be honest with you guys, or I'm more guilty of saying I did bad yesterday, like calling a whole day bad or a whole day good. That's where my
Mhm.
guilt lies in more. I don't know why that is, but I don't really label food good or bad as much as calling myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an aha moment.
Hmm.
Like I'm more likely to call myself good or bad, but not a food item. Why?
Really?
Apparently, I just noticed that. Why?
We'll get into it, but I want to know, what do you think?
I really don't know. I just realized it's okay for me to call myself bad or good, but not okay for me to call a cheesecake bad or good or cake bad or good. Why?
Mm. It's diet culture.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That if you are tempted by a piece of cheesecake,
I'm the bad one.
yeah. And that's connected to the point that I was just making, and I'll tell you what I mean.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
last night we made a dish, and I knew it was not going to be filling because there was not that much protein. It was a lot of vegetables and some rice and some lentils, but it was not enough protein, and I knew I was not going to be full. I should have prepared something with protein on the side.
Okay.
I didn't do that, and like an hour and a half after dinner, I was, what's to eat, what's to eat, what's to eat, because I nutritionally wasn't satisfied. And then I ate something that was there because it was tempting. And I ended up, it was a little bag, but I finished the whole thing. And the bag has like 4 servings, but to me it was 1 serving. It
You
was a
said
little
a
bag.
little bag with 4 servings. That's crazy, but go on. What was it?
So then it was this chili and lime, like corn nuts, but they're not corn nuts.
Okay.
But it was like, the ingredients are fairly good, but it was
Okay.
tasty. I'm obsessed with tahini lately. Um, but then I ate this whole bag, and I was really bloated all night. And I was, even in my sleep, I was like, what should I do tomorrow? How should I behave? Should I start with protein? Should I drink a
Oh,
drink? How should I correct this bad behavior? Because I just screwed up. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I ate this stuff. I knew better. Even I could tell you why it happened, but the punishment in my head was, I failed and I'm off track, and
but you
now I
did
need to
part of the work
overcorrect.
because you knew what you did, what
Hmm.
caused, but you didn't do the
Yeah.
full circle, like accept it, own it, don't beat yourself up part.
Yeah. I was completely overcorrecting. Should I work out extra? Should I restrict my eating? Should I do this? Should I do that?
Did
It
you
was,
say, I need to be good today? I need to be good
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we have to stop saying that. It's gross, actually. The more you're saying, not you, but your whole story makes me feel, because I'm guilty of it and I've done it, like makes me go, oh, it sounds so gross when we do it.
Yeah. Because if someone else said that, you'd be like, oh, you shouldn't beat yourself up. It's okay.
Right.
It's just a little bag. It's not a big deal. But if
Right.
you do it, then you're executioner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just terrible. We're
Oh,
so hard on ourselves.
yeah. Well, I caught myself yesterday in a different roundabout way doing it. We were at the pool for a long time, and we were going to make dinner. And when we both got home, my husband goes, "Why don't I just get the Pizza Hut big dinner meal box?" And
Hmm.
I didn't want it, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you because I said in my head, I was so good today. I don't want it.
Mm. Were you hungry for it though?
I was hungry, period. I was
Mm.
very hungry. And I said, I'm okay with just making something. And I was said, you guys get what you want, but I can't resist it when it gets in the house. I'm always going to have a piece of pizza.
Of course.
But
Of course you are.
and I was saying, I was arguing with myself, going, but you were really good today. And I went through everything I ate, and I was like, you did good here, you did good there. You probably could have it because it's good. And I said to myself, it's not bad if you eat it. But I think the simple fact of saying I was so good isn't okay either.
So you're having a negotiation in your head of, I was good, so then I can have this reward.
Yeah. Long story short is my husband then finally came in and said, in not clean words, screw Pizza Hut. They got rid of the dinner box deal, so we're not eating it. And I said, okay. Secretly, I was like, thank you. That was like my sign that I know I didn't need it. But
Yeah.
but the point is, like, yeah, I said to myself, I don't know why I do that.
Well, and if it came in the house, like you said, you would eat because you, first of all, you were hungry.
Yep.
And I think that's where part of this lies is we're not allowing ourselves to eat.
Right.
Like your body needs nourishment. Food is nourishment. It's not a living being. It's a thing that gives you calories and nutrition and
I have this definition. Food is fuel for our bodies or meant to bring pleasure and joy.
oh, I like that definition.
I know, right? Right. Like, yeah, it's also meant to bring me pleasure when it's my birthday and I'm going to have cake. It's meant to bring
Absolutely.
me joy if my daughter makes a homemade blueberry pie. Like, it's meant to do that,
Yep.
and that's powerful, I think.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think when we allow ourselves to say, you know what, I'm going to eat the cake today, I'm going to eat the pie today, and it's all good. That when you get rid of that guilt, you feel so much
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah. That's work. This topic is a lot of work.
I agree.
I mean,
And
there
it's
are
not that
topics
easy.
No, and there are topics that are hard, but this one particularly for me, I think is very hard. Yeah.
So why do you think we have this association with eating and good and bad, and we are good and bad because we ate or didn't eat?
I think it's the word bad. I don't think it has anything to do with calling food that. It's the word. And when we use the word bad, it has a very strong feeling that is deep inside of us.
Mhm.
Right? Like when I was little and I would fight with my sisters, we were bad. When
Yeah.
when I would go more than I was supposed to on riding my bike, and I was bad. And then I'd go sit in a chair, and then I'd have a timeout, and I would feel guilty. And
Mhm.
it's bad. And I think that the word, anytime I use that word, probably gives me like a gross feeling inside, even if I'm not aware of it.
Or, oh, you were a good girl today. Here's a cookie.
Oh, yes. Right.
You were so good today. Let's go get a treat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it all
Right?
stems from that. Like when we're little, like those words feel bad. I will tell you that when my kids, one big one for me was the swearing. It was always a bad word. And I
Mhm.
did not like that because I don't like, when I had kids, I decided I did not want to call swear words bad words. I don't want kids to think that anybody who says a bad word is a bad person. Like it's not, I don't
Mhm.
think that way. We called them grown up words. But like those are grown up words
Oh.
because the truth of the matter is because my husband and I both have bad mouths. And I didn't want my kids to think we were bad people because we said some bad words. Like,
Yeah.
and they need to know that we're not bad people because we say a bad word.
Right.
But that's the only thing I've ever been careful about saying bad around. Is that silly?
No, I don't think so. Because you probably gave it some thought at some
Oh,
point
a
when they were
lot of
growing
thought.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we do that necessarily around the food.
And that's where I should be doing it around. It shouldn't be around
No.
swear words.
I think it's around everything, right?
Maybe.
We can't label things good and bad necessarily because there are there are some things that are black and white, but most of the things in our average day are not so black and white.
Yeah.
It's not. I was reading this definition from Everyday Health in this article, And this is what they were talking about, the origin of this as possibility. Fat phobia fuels our culture's belief that a good human is one who keeps their bodies small.
Mm. So a good person is somebody that takes care of themselves and looks a certain way.
Hmm. But that's
That's
the
gross.
reason why, but it's not accurate, right? You can be a good person in any kind of body. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. People can still love you like crazy and think you're just what's the expression? Cat's meow. I don't know,
Maybe.
whatever the expression is. Like you're the cherry on top of the sundae. They
Yes.
just think you're hot stuff and you're awesome and they love to be around you. And that has nothing to do with what kind of body you're in.
Wait, repeat that again. Because it really, okay, go on.
So the article was talking about fat phobia in our society.
Okay.
And the quote that I pulled out was, fat phobia fuels our culture's belief that a good human is one who keeps their body small.
That's such a gross statement to me. I hate it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But they were saying this is one of the reasons
Yes.
why we come to good and bad.
Oh, that makes me so grossed out.
But don't you think we do that to ourselves?
Yeah. 100. That's why I'm so bothered by it, because 100% I agree with it.
I'm not good because, I can't resist Doritos in front of the TV. And
Right.
I did good, but then I screwed up because I ate something at night and now I ruined my whole day. And we
Right.
do this
Right.
torture.
My oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was talking about eating Doritos in front of the TV.
I know. And you know why I lost my train of thought? 'Cause all I kept thinking about is my sister said, I'm going to eat Doritos and bananas. That's how you said the word Doritos. And I went, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, my sister wants to eat Doritos and bananas. Anyway, so I don't know
It's
how
so
to
good.
now I can't get it all back together in my head. Anyway.
The other thing that they were saying was morality implies choice. So making the right choice is good and making the wrong choice is bad. So when we've made an association with eating cake or whatever you want to eat, it could be your mom's homemade lasagna, or it could be something special, that choice is the wrong choice and that is equitable to being bad.
Oh, so choosing that is the wrong choice.
That's
Makes you
one of
feel
the
bad.
reasons why
Yeah.
we apply morality to food choices.
Yeah, you're a good person. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I did not expect to feel this way about this topic.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun and light and we'd be giggling. You know what I mean?
I wanted to giggle about this
I
topic.
know. Sorry.
Have you ever heard, oh, you're so good, you can resist fill in the blank?
I did it to my sister the other day and she
Really?
actually put me out on it. We were at my mom's birthday and she had a plate and it was like salad and it just was all very green and colorful and all quote unquote good food. And I said, look at you eating so good today. I'm so proud of you. And she went, look at you judging the food on my plate.
Oh.
And it wasn't mean at all, how either of us were saying it. But
Snaps to her.
Yeah, she's right. I totally did.
Yeah. Yes. And that made you think, oh, she's so good because she chose a salad and it's so colorful. And
yeah, and then she
we
said,
make these
what I ate before I sat down is what she said, but whatever. But yeah.
So and then I was reading a couple of things about when you feel shame about eating, that can have a negative impact on your mental health.
I believe it. Yes.
I went in that loop last night. Why? Who knows? The human body thrives on a varied diet that provides a plethora of nutrients and nourishment. So you're supposed to eat everything.
Yeah. But I wanted to go back to what you just said. Like it made me think about depression and mental health issues. Like possibly, maybe a lot of our problems are because we're gooding and badding our choices all day, which then leads to that mental health disorder.
Yeah.
Like
So
all day
yeah.
long we do it.
I drew sort of like a chart for myself. If you restrict yourself, right?
Okay.
And you're like, I'm so good today, I'm not going to do anything. And you're afraid of the choices. Like you were afraid of eating that pizza.
Right? I
And
was.
then that can potentially lead to deprivation,
Mhm.
right? And then you overdo it. And then you're filled with anxiety and depression. So it's like this weird little roadmap to get to a place where, and then that fuels the shame, which makes
Yep.
you go through the whole cycle again.
Ugh. Yeah.
I was watching this YouTube TED Talk. Her name is Pixie Turner. It's really interesting. It was very short, like 25, 30 minutes. And she said something really interesting that hit me kind of in a weird way. She says, if you broke your leg, you're going to need to use a crutch, right?
Right.
Because you need it for walking. And when we have emotional issues, we found a crutch in food. And we use that as a way to deal with those emotions. And if someone says, well, just take that away, you don't have an alternative. Your
Yeah.
crutch is gone.
Yeah. What a great analogy.
I know. So it's not like you can just take it away and say, oh, the food is going to go away, so I'm good now.
Right.
No, you need different tools.
Oh my God, that's the best analogy I may have ever heard. And I'm so relating it to so many things. Like, how many times have you said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have sugar? I'm not going to have sugar today. I'm giving up sugar. And then you basically just removed your crutch and you're trying to
Yeah.
get by hobbling around and you can't.
No, you're going to need the crunch at some point. You need a transition, right? Like you go to physical therapy and you work on
Right.
your strength, and you need things to reinforce those habits that maybe you don't need the crutch anymore. And then she said one more thing that was super interesting. She said, we eat because we are hungry for something. Either you're actually hungry, physically hungry, or you're emotionally hungry. And if you're in denial of your emotions and your crutch is eating, guess what you're going to do?
Like, give me an example of something that I would eat besides hunger.
So if you had a fight with your husband, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, okay?
Okay.
And I'm sad for myself and I'm like really upset. I'm going to go stand in the pantry, maybe crying and maybe eating,
So
because
you're
I'm trying
eating
to,
sadness.
yeah, I'm trying to make myself feel better.
Mhm.
I'm really hungry, not for that food. I'm hungry for a hug or someone to say, it's
Mhm.
okay. And it's okay that you feel sad. And
You're
that
hungry for
didn't feel good.
validation, or you're
Yes,
hungry
yes,
for an apology, or you're hungry for, um, yeah. I like that, asking
something.
that question. What am I
Just,
hungry for?
yeah, that was one of her things. She said, ask yourself, what are you really hungry for?
Right. And maybe when you don't know
And
what you're hungry for, it's an emotion. You just gotta figure it out.
yeah, because if you're actually hungry, you should eat food.
Right.
Go eat.
Right. Hmm. What am
There's
I
nothing
hungry?
wrong with that.
That's good.
So I thought that was her little TED talk was really insightful to me. It just
Okay.
hit me. Sometimes when somebody says something and it just hits you at the right thing.
Yep. For sure.
So basically,
I got a good quote I heard. I read. I didn't
oh,
hear it. I read it. The only time you should feel guilty about eating something is if you steal it.
I like that a lot.
I like that too. It's simple, it's to the point, and you're like, yeah, that's true. If I didn't steal this food, I shouldn't feel guilty over having it. Right?
Yeah, it's not like the cake is sitting on the counter and it's playing like devilish music in the background.
No.
Like tempting you. It's just a
Feels
cake.
that way, but it's not.
Yeah,
So,
so this was very enlightening for me, and I
so
think I
do
just
you
need
have a
to work
call
on
to
some stuff.
action?
I do have a call to action.
Okay.
I am going back to basics, and I'll
What is
tell you
it?
what I mean.
Yeah.
So in June, I had this thing I was going to eat salads like 4 or 5 times a week. I got a little away from it because it's a little bit of work and it's kind of It's work to eat it. It's work to make it. It's work. But I like it when I eat it. I feel better. So this week, it's a two-parter. I'm going to concentrate on my water and my salad. And what I want to do is put the positive light on the nutrients that I need and concentrating on what I'm eating and drinking, and less on, oh, I shouldn't have that. I can't eat this and I won't do that. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to focus on, am I getting my vegetables today? And did I drink my water?
Okay. Back to basics.
Every day. Mm-hmm.
Did
And
you
the
get
vegetables can look
vegetables?
different, but I need to make sure I have them.
Okay. I like this for you. This is simple. You could do this. Is
Easy.
water
I've
hard for you?
started already. Well, sometimes I forget.
How?
I
Tell me
love
how.
water. I drink it. Like I just like, oh, it's 4 o'clock and I've only had one bottle. I
Tell
haven't
me
had
how
more
you
than
forget
that.
it.
I don't know. I just have either I haven't done anything or I'm not thirsty or like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's noon. I need to finish one. And then by 3, I need to finish the second. And like I kind of have that in my mind, but if I'm not paying attention, then I'm like, oh, I haven't even had one yet.
When you go to the store, you don't bring a bottle of water?
Oh, I bring a bottle of water everywhere. We've
Oh,
talked about this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just need to be more consistent with it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you leave it out somewhere that you can just grab it and drink it and see it every time you walk by?
It's right here, literally
Yeah.
next to me. It's everywhere I go.
I can't, but I'm a water person, so I don't, I like every
I
time I
am
walk
too,
by,
but
yeah.
sometimes I forget. So I just want to be consistent with that.
I
That's
think
all.
that's good. I can't wait to hear how that goes. Yeah.
How about you? What's your call to
So
action?
I think I realized in looking up the stuff for this meeting or this podcast, I'm really, really guilty of doing my whole bulking my whole day. Like when I brain dump, I'm like, yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was a bad day. I'm really guilty of saying, did I do good today? Can I get ice cream tonight? Like that is real popular in my vocabulary, not out loud, but in my head. So I'm going to
Sure.
try and reword things and say, you know what, I really didn't nourish myself that well yesterday. Or I feel like I want to use the word nourishment because I think it'll
Mhm.
put more of a value on food and say that it's important. It's more important. Like nourishment, I can't even say it. I feel like is something we all need,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
We don't necessarily even all need food. We need nourishment from the food. If that might not
Yes.
even make sense to you guys, but to me
It
it
makes
does.
100% sense because
Yeah,
your body is telling you something that we're not listening to.
right. And I need to just say, did I get my nourishment today? And maybe if I did, then I'm like, yeah, good. Or no, I
I
didn't.
love that. I love that language shift. I
Yeah,
love it.
we'll see how it goes.
It's so good.
I'm excited for this. This will be interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
All right. Well, have a great week.
You too. Bye.
Bye.